Hello, welcomes back everyone. Wolf here with even more Star Wars The Old Republic. Playing as Yevrà here, our Sith apprentice, within the Sith Sanctum on Dromund Kaas. We are here to report to our master Lord Zash, and see what she has planned here on the capital world of the Empire. Though we believe it has something to do with the star map we attained within the tomb of Naga Sadow. One thing to note, of course, is Darth Skotia approached us at Kaas Spaceport. He wanted us to relay a message to our master that he knows of her plans, and that he has the key. He worded key very strongly, and that he is opposing of her plan, whatever that may be. But we finally arrived.
Are you acquainted with the big, ugly, half-machine Dark Lord? He had a message for you.
Damn Scotia. What business has he going behind my back, speaking to my apprentice? Trying to intimidate you, no doubt. Wretched monster. More machine than man and dangerously powerful. Ever since I arrived on Dromund Kaas as an apprentice, he's made every effort to stand in my way. Ultimately, we cannot even begin the search for Tulakhod's ancient power with Scotia's rattling breath on our necks.
Sounds like Scotia's got us on this one.
No, not quite. You see, I have a plan. You are going to kill Scotia for me.
I can't kill him, he's too powerful.
Exactly. That's the genius of my plan. I cannot be tied to Scotia's murder. Brazen power plays make the Dark Council nervous. But nobody will believe that a mere apprentice could defeat Scotia. It's impossible, and that's why it will work.
So what am I supposed to do?
I've begun to piece together the puzzle for Darth Skotia's destruction, but some elements have yet to fall into place. Out in the jungle, a group of slaves has recently revolted. They were working on a colossal statue that has since gone unfinished. I believe Scotia is hiding something of great importance near this statue. Get the archaeological plans to the area from one of the slaves, and contact me by holocommunicator.
Oh, the shard is not a fan of Lord Zash. That she stinks of death.
You must go to the Colossus and contact me when you find the plans.
It's so lovely that she's gonna have us challenge a Dark Lord of the Sith. Hopefully she has a good plan to bring him low. Otherwise... Of course, he may have gained that title just from political maneuvering. But if he's been a Dark Lord of the Sith for some time, and since she was an apprentice, he's bound to have some power to back up his position. Otherwise, someone would have removed him long ago. The first step in Lord Zash's plans revolve around this unfinished statue, the Unfinished Colossus, where of course we talked earlier, where there is currently a slave revolt going on.
Ready for departure. Enjoy your stay.
Okay, get ourselves over to Outpost Tempest once again. And then we are going to backtrack and make our way slowly towards the Unfinished Colossus. Unfortunately, the Imperial Army's been unable to hold back these slaves, has been unable to contain them in just one area. As we noticed on our way to Kaas City, the rebelling slaves have set up an encampment just beyond the Imperial walls here. As such, the Sith Lord, Lord Drowl, would like to have a word.
Exactly as reported. A Degree 6 revolt, population equivalent to the Duros uprising on Zilior. Subjects occupy a moderate radius of jungle. Good. Good. Welcome, apprentice. Your timing couldn't be better. I am Lord Drowl. When the Empire encounters resistance on its conquered worlds, they call me. I'm here to end the slave uprising on Dromund Kaas.
Welcome to the Imperial capital, my lord.
Just the right tone of obedience. You'll be an excellent asset here. Situation is this. A Sith Lord was constructing a colossal statue of himself in the jungle. His slaves revolted and armed themselves. The Colossus remains unfinished, and well-armed slaves now control the jungle. An embarrassment for the Empire, but an opportunity for me.
What can these renegade slaves possibly provide you?
Test subjects, of course. A means of perfecting my techniques. I'm testing a toxic weapon, a poison called Quell. Its victims experience a prolonged state of agonizing pain before finally dying. The victims' allies are so horrified by Quell's effects, they lose their wills to resist. At least that's what I intend to prove.
What a disturbing experiment. You're quite the sadist, Lord Drowl.
Please, there's no need for flattery. I need someone to introduce a controlled amount of Quell into the slave's water supply, so that I can determine the proper dosage. Work is dangerous, there will be armed slaves everywhere, but your success will be well rewarded. What do you say?
My duty is my life.
Superb. Then let's get started. My assistant, Sergeant Slerin, will recommend the correct dosage of Quell and give you a supply. See him at the research tent.
Again, it's always nice to network with other Sith. Perhaps get recognized for lending aid in their research. Of course, his information is somewhat off. We know Lord Quet wasn't quite building a statue of himself, but of his master, Darth Vowron.
If I know Lord Drowl's tastes, which unfortunately I do, he sent you for the Quell toxin.
I'm helping him put down the slave revolt.
Do you truly understand what he's asked you to do? What if I told you this experiment is pointless? That past studies have shown increased suffering has no impact on the speed of surrender. This has nothing to do with accelerating the end of a rebellion. Lord Drowl simply takes perverse thrill in gratuitous suffering.
I'm sure Lord Drowl wouldn't appreciate these comments.
Don't get me wrong, Lord Drowl is very good at what he does, but he lets his personal bents impede our efficiency. I want this assignment over with. The faster this rebellion ends, the faster I'll be reassigned to more important work. Serving Lord Drow's bloodlust has stunted my career. If not for his inefficiency, I'd be a captain by now.
If you let others block your progress, you deserve to fail.
Why do you think we're having this discussion? Lord Drow's dosage of quell toxin will have slaves writhing in agony for pointless weeks, during which this area will remain volatile. I've prepared a dose that will kill the slaves efficiently, which is better for the Empire and for me. Will you deliver my dosage instead?
Unfortunately, while I know you're trying to manipulate me, you have nothing really to offer me. Lord Drow, while he may not pass my name on, may reward me with greater rewards than you can give me.
I want these renegade slaves to pay for disobeying the Empire.
You're not merely prolonging the slaves' agony, but my own as well. Committed to your work, aren't you? Very well. Take the quell toxin and inject it into the slave camp's water filtration systems. See Lord Drow for your payment when you're done.
Okay, so we need to contaminate 4 water filters and destroy their reserve water tanks so they don't, well, so they run out of water all the more quickly. Looks like someone's here before us. They're already clearing out the rebelling slaves. We have a bonus to deal with 30 of the slaves here. Oh, bloody hell. Thought I'd be able to jump out of that hole. Apparently not. That's all the reserve water tanks dealt with. Just need to contaminate the other 3 water filters. All of which are in this somewhat direction. Okay, we just need one more water filter.
afgoedaan heeft.
Security chest over there. Oh no, it's not. I thought it was next to the lamppost there. It's the final water filter. And before we head on towards the Unfinished Colossus, we may as well go report back to Lord Drowl.
You delivered the exact results I hoped for. Quell is like an imbibed torture device infesting those rebel slaves. It's exhilarating to see the effects on the survivors who can only stand by and watch helplessly.
You were right. Quell toxin is a powerful and useful tool.
One might even say it's revolutionary. Quell toxin will be a great asset to the Empire. Uprisings will end painfully and decisively. You've earned your reward, my friend. Now go. I have horror and despair to observe and chronicle.
Ooh, we get to choose our first relic. We'll take the relic. Both of these are relics that will give you boosts when you equip them. When healing an ally or damaging an enemy, you have a 30% chance to gain bonus mastery or bonus power for 6 seconds. Now at the moment we're always going to be level capped, and more likely than not our mastery will probably be capped as well. Our power? Maybe not so much. So we'll take the power bonus for now. Though eventually we'll probably have both the power and mastery relics equipped. Well, let us continue on our way once again. And here is the Unfinished Colossus.
My lord? Look at them out there. They're like animals. Hundreds of slaves with no one to command them and without a thought in their minds as to what to do with their freedom. Like I said, the slaves are animals. But we've noticed strange behavior in the pack, and my superiors want to know more. Some of the slaves are killing each other. We don't know if they're mad or hungry, desperate, or if there's a faction of slaves who've turned on the rest.
You've been observing them. Give me your best guess.
I don't really know. Who can fathom the mind of a slave? We know that the killings are ritualistic. The murderous slaves come in the night, stab their foes, and paint themselves in blood. If you could investigate, catch them in the act and take them down, maybe you could find a clue to their motives.
I'll see what I can do. But I remember what it was like, being one of them.
Ah, yes. Yes, my lord, of course. Look for any slave who's turned on his peers. With luck, he'll lead us to answers.
The ensign got very nervous there, suddenly realizing he may have been speaking to a former slave who has been elevated so much higher than he will ever grow within the Empire's ranks.
Do you require medical attention? Be well.
And while we are here, we have another heroic mission available to us.
Hey, my lord, right? Not sure about my propers with you folks. Seeing as how you're already killing slaves and causing a fuss, how'd you like to make a pile of credits?
I suppose I have the time.
So Darth Valron is on the Dark Council, and his apprentice Lord Ket wants to advance, so he starts building a giant statue to his master. But Lord Ket doesn't want his master to know, so he brings in slaves from off-world. Slaves rebel, and we get this mess.
The slave rebellion I'm familiar with, though I didn't know the specifics.
Here's where it gets complicated. Lord Ket wants to save face, but secretly. He calls in me and my mercs. By the time we get here, the slaves have captured some giant industrial drills, and they're getting ready to bring down the whole giant statue. Our best team goes in with explosives to blow up the drills. Slaves kill every last one. Got a pile of credits for anyone who grabs those explosives, hooks them to a giant drill, then fights off slaves until the explosives detonate.
Sounds simple enough. The giant industrial drills are down in the valley here. You can see a few of them. There's actually one right below us. And we have a working elevator which will take us down to the lower level. You can somewhat drop down there using the bridge. A Sith who cannot finish a statue does not deserve a statue. Yeah, you can drop down here and make your way down, because this is where the mercenary explosives are being held on one of the corpses there. This was, I think, a heroic 4 mission back in the day. What neither side have really mentioned, what neither side may not know, is that the slaves are being prompted to rebel by another Dark Lord of the Sith. I believe it is Darth Barris, who is the master of the Sith warrior at this point in time. Darth Barris, of course, and Darth Valron are very subtle and very vocal within the, not within the Dark Council, but within Sith politics, and they hate one another. We have a bonus to deal with 15 of the rebel slaves here. Before we go looking into these cultists, this other faction within the rebelling slaves, and these archaeological plans, let's go deal with these drills, shall we? I can't recall if this was a heroic 4 mission or not. What I do recall is they've changed how difficult some of the rebelling slaves are. There used to be larger groups of elite slaves. This group in particular is still a bit of a threat. Is it this group? Ah, because this group who just spawned in behind me. That's right. They sometimes get linked together. And you end up fighting two groups at once. Okay, what are mercenaries here? Just gonna retrieve the explosives from their body.
Teufel atraus.
We'll plant our explosives on this industrial drill. Teufel atraus. Calm is keeping the Taskmaster happily distracted.
That was a fantastic show. That drill just lit up the night. Here's the credits, as promised.
Now we just wait for the elevator to come back. Meanwhile, we have the aftermarket Force Lord's armor set now. Okay. Next thing for us to do is look into this separate faction of the rebelling slaves. The ones who come in the night and bathe themselves in their fellow slaves' blood. Seems we picked up a data pad here. Contains the following message. Initiate When the killing is complete, return to the base of the Colossus and signal us with the device. We will be waiting. The datapad also gives us a set of coordinates.
Afgudan Heifst.
You are not the initiate. You are Sith. You honor us with your presence, mighty lord. Welcome to our prison.
What is this? Are you the one behind the killings?
I am Traga Unvor, leader of the Unchained. I am master of my hatred. When the other slaves broke free, I laughed. Like you, I knew their escape was a delusion, for only Sith possess true freedom.
I was a slave myself, before I became Sith.
Yes, mighty one. Then you do understand. I saw a chance to prove myself. I culled weak from strong. I began to kill and to teach. I showed slaves freedom through bloodshed. Now my followers and I are the masters here. And soon, we will become Sith ourselves.
You may have potential, but are you strong in the Force?
My strength is in my fists, but the Force has guided me here. And it has guided you. Now you can spread word of us to the Empire. Your strength is great. With your approval, we shall serve. Carry our message of allegiance to your masters, and we will become the new face of the Empire. We will be champions of the dark side.
You didn't exactly answer whether or not you were Force sensitive. You believe the Force guided you, but do you have actually any talent?
The Empire will hear your message.
As it should be. Take this datapad, my plea to the Sith Lords. For now, I am not ready to leave the Colossus. With every kill, I feel my power grow. And there are many slaves who may yet join me. But soon, we will all be ready. We will await word from the Empire.
You may do as you wish, but you don't yet understand the Sith.
Yes. I look forward to learning.
We'll pass this up the line and have a Sith Lord perhaps test their ability. If nothing else, they may make good meat shields. Now we are looking for more of these archaeological plans. Ah, perfect. Let's find a quiet place.
Does this mean you found them? You found the archaeological plans?
Of course, my master.
Fantastic. I never doubted you. Now, let me see. Ah, yes. How clever. There's a chamber hidden under the Colossus itself. I bet my complete collection of Naga Sadow's Yavin 4 writings that you'll find what we're looking for in this chamber.
Tell me how to access this chamber.
There should be a hidden entrance near the Colossus. It looks like Scotia has an entire underground base. You're looking for a tablet. The tablet is the symbol of leadership of an obscure Trandoshan cult. The lizards believe it was a gift from their deity, the Scorekeeper. Scotia stole the tablet and uses it to exert control over his Trandoshan bodyguards. Give them their relic, and Scotia's power over his bodyguards will turn to vapor.
We'll leave Scotia undefended.
Exactly. You have a sharp mind, apprentice. The plans suggest Scotia's apprentices guard this base. I don't doubt they hold the keys to acquiring the Trandoshan tablet. Best kill them all to be sure.
Inubis just nas jans, now mipan astana tods jans.
Why does Scotia rely on Trandoshan bodyguards rather than his own apprentices, I wonder? His own apprentices guard this underground base instead. It's meant to be hidden, of course.
Arunja munja.
Oh, we triggered some sort of alarm. Well, let's kill everyone. Make sure they can't alert Scotia to our plan. I don't care for the maintenance droids. They mean very little. Named apprentices.
John.
Still disable the security station. Make sure they can't monitor the activities here. Another apprentice. Scotia has quite a large amount of people serving under him. I mean, he is a Dark Lord of the Sith. But he must have considerable influence to have amassed this many followers.
Sight is like.
I'd wonder how we would compare to his own apprentices, but we've killed quite a few of them so far. Okay, security and monitoring stations have all been disabled. Oh, we actually have Lord Ugafu, an actual Sith Lord. Well, we needed someone to compare ourselves to. Helm, why don't you eat him for me?
Afragiban.
Excellent. And the tablet is ours. This ancient artifact is of great spiritual importance to the followers of the Scorekeeper. Holding this should give you sway over Scotia's Trandoshan bodyguards. Excellent. And apart from a couple of maintenance droids, there were no survivors within this underground bunker.
side is like.
We can now report our success back to Lord Zash at the Citadel. Before we do that, let us take the message of allegiance of these slave cultists.
It's good to see you back. I knew those slaves couldn't hold their own against you. I take it you managed to track down one of the murderers. What's their story? Can we use them?
The killers will now serve the Empire. I have their oath of allegiance here.
What do you mean? Let me see that datapad. This is madness. They're serious. Slaves who think they can become Sith.
A slave can become Sith. Never forget that.
Yes, as you say. I'll inform Command. I'm not actually authorized to speak with Sith Lords on the blockade. But I'll make sure they know too. It's been an honor working with you. I hope we meet again.
It'd be hilarious just to use our overload and just send him careening over the railing here. Ooh, level 23. We have learned some new abilities. Ooh. Indeed. So, these two are not related to the discipline tree here. We have force bending, which is related to resurgence. Resurgence is a simple healing spell that gives healing, a small amount of initial healing, and then smaller healing over time. But when activated, it gives us an ability known as force bending. Yeah, there it is. It increases the effectiveness of other abilities. So our Dark Heal, our starting heal, has an increased critical chance. Dark Infusion has its activation time reduced. We haven't learned Innovate just yet, but that also has an increased chance. We have Revivification, which I believe is our in-combat resurrection ability, allowing it to activate instantly. Or we have Roaming Mend, which again we don't have either. It looks like we'll learn these abilities, yeah, as we go up through the discipline tree. In addition, we can augment our Dark Infusion ability. We have 2 passives or a replacement technique. We have Fueled Corruption, which gives a heal over time ability. In addition to the reasonable heal, I should say. We have Haste. After casting Dark Infusion, we are granted a haste ability, making your next Dark Infusion instant. That haste lasts for 10 seconds. Does it cost? Right, so it still costs. Let's say it doubles the force cost basically, but it's a pretty powerful heal. Or we can have Rally. Heals up to 2 friendly targets the same amount of health. I suppose that would be better in flashpoints or in operations. But now we'll take... We'll take the double heal, as that might be more important in emergencies. And of course we have level 27 for the next jump on our discipline tree. We've also learned Crushing Darkness, which can summon a dark cloud of force energy to crush our target. Deals a small amount of kinetic damage, and then more damage over a period of 6 seconds. Sounds like a rather fun ability.
Do you require medical attention? Be well.
Indeed. What we'll do is we'll get ourselves back over to the Sith Sanctum before we fully report our success to Lord Zash. We will take a break once again, as no doubt she'll have, or she'll be ready to give us the next step of her plan to deal with Darth Skotia. Might as well pause where we started. Thank you all for joining me once again with even more Star Wars The Old Republic. Feel free to leave a comment if you so wish, and hopefully I'll see you for even more next time. As a small note, the next part of the series... No, I'll leave it for later. There is something happening over the next day. It may not affect the next part of the series, but it'll certainly affect our time here on Dromund Kaas and going forward. But when the event occurs, we'll talk about it. Thank you all for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you for more of the series next time. Until then though, take care. Bye bye now.